This incident took place on a bitterly cold December night. It was a foggy night, and on a desolate highway cutting through a dense forest, a car was speeding through the mist at breakneck speed. 3 people were in the car. Carl, who was driving. Seated next to him, his wife, Angelina, and Carl's brother, Jimmy, in the back seat. Since the road was completely empty, Carl was driving recklessly fast despite the thick fog. Angelina, nervous about the possibility of an accident, kept urging Carl to slow down. But both Carl and Jimmy, thrilled by the speed, ignored her pleas. Along the way, they repeatedly passed a speed limit sign warning drivers not to exceed 39 kilometers per hour. But Carl, intoxicated by the thrill of speed, paid no heed. He only wanted to drive faster. As he recklessly sped along, a loud horn suddenly blared from ahead. A massive truck was hurtling toward them. The sight of it sent shivers down their spines. Just as a collision seemed imminent, Carl managed to swerve at the last moment, narrowly avoiding the truck. Shaken by their brush with death, they stopped the car to catch their breath. During this pause, Jimmy asked if they had seen what he had. Confused, Carl and Angelina pressed him to explain. Jimmy said that as the truck passed, he thought he saw a strange animal chasing it, but the darkness and fog made it impossible to discern what it was. Dismissing his words, Carl and Angelina brushed it off, and Carl resumed driving, still recklessly despite Angelina's protests, as if the near miss hadn't taught him a lesson. They drove on for a long time. Hours passed. The car's fuel began to run low, but the road showed no signs of ending. The 3 grew increasingly anxious. They knew this road should have ended half an hour earlier, yet they were still on it. They wondered if they had taken a wrong turn, but Carl was certain he hadn't veered off course. Still, he had no explanation for why the road seemed endless. As they continued, Angelina noticed something odd. The same speed limit sign kept appearing at regular intervals. She pointed this out, suggesting they might be circling back to the same spot. Initially, Carl and Jimmy dismissed her theory as absurd, but after passing the same sign multiple times without ever turning, they couldn't deny it. They were trapped, looping on the same stretch of road. Panic set in as they struggled to understand what was happening and whether they would ever escape this cursed highway. But their ordeal was only beginning. Hours dragged on, and neither the road nor the night showed any sign of ending. The car's fuel was nearly depleted, yet they kept driving, unsure of what else to do. Suddenly, Angelina spotted something and she urged Carl to stop. They all saw it. A shadowy figure standing in the middle of the road ahead. The fog and darkness obscured what it was, only that something was blocking their path. Carl honked repeatedly to get it to move, but the figure stood motionless. Frustrated, Carl and Angelina considered stepping out to confront the figure, but then it suddenly began to move, scamper toward them. As it approached, their heartbeats quickened. Jimmy, terrified, urged Carl to drive away. Though scared, Carl hesitated, thinking they might ask the figure for help escaping the road. The shadow slowly drew closer and stopped beside the car. Hoping to communicate, Carl rolled down his window. But the moment he glimpsed the figure, his blood ran cold. Carl slammed the window shut and floored the accelerator, speeding away as fast as he could. Angelina and Jimmy, confused, asked what he had seen to make him so terrified. Carl explained that it wasn't a person but something else entirely. It was a horrifying specter. Its head appeared severed and charred, its eyes glowed unnaturally, and its teeth were long and sharp like a predator's. He warned that if they had stayed a moment longer, they wouldn't have escaped it. Angelina and Jimmy were skeptical, wondering if Carl was imagining things or joking. But then Angelina glanced in the rearview mirror and saw the same shadow emerging from the fog, chasing their car at an alarming speed. All three trembled in fear. Despite the car's high speed, the entity was gaining on them, sometimes running on two legs, sometimes on all fours like an animal. They couldn't comprehend what it was or why it was after them. Already trapped on this endless road with dwindling fuel, they now faced a terrifying pursuer. The entity drew closer with every passing moment, and they were losing hope of survival. Just then, Angelina spotted the speed limit sign again, indicating a maximum of 39 kilometers per hour. She urged Carl to slow down. Frantic, Carl argued that slowing down would make it impossible to outrun the entity, which was nearly upon them. Jimmy agreed, but Angelina insisted the recurring sign must have some significance. They couldn't keep running at high speed forever, so why not try slowing down? It might be their only way out. Reluctantly, Carl agreed and reduced the car's speed below 39. The moment he did, the entity, now almost at their bumper, vanished into the fog. Stunned, they realized Angelina was right. With renewed hope, Carl kept the speed under 39, and soon, the car emerged from the cursed road into an urban area. The endless night finally began to fade. The three breathed a sigh of relief. Carl and Jimmy praised Angelina's quick thinking, acknowledging that without her, they might never have escaped the road or the entity. Carl vowed never to drive recklessly or exceed speed limits again. Safely, they headed home. But the truck they had narrowly avoided wasn't so fortunate. That same morning, on that same road, the truck was found wrecked with no driver. Only blood and severed body parts scattered inside.